Are you good? Welcome back to the Junior Africa Cup 2025. The next game is Zambia and Kenya live from the Devon Trusco Stadium in Windhoek, Namibia. My name is Calvin Itungi and alongside me is Jason Amwana. Amwama.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Junior Africa Cup, day 4 of the tournament. Zambia versus Kenya. The ladies are just running on the field right now, getting ready to get started with their game. Zambia versus Kenya.
We just previously had the Zambian men and the Kenyan men playing, and the Kenyan men won. In our lineup today, we have Mwale Beatrice, the captain, leading number 5, leading the Zambian team with goalkeeper Chungu Chengolo, as well as their coach Luando Godfrey. And on the Kenyan side, we have captain number 7, Ranga Dotty, with the goalkeeper being Wekese Marion and the coach being Buloros. It seems that the Kenyan team is starting with 11 women. This is an interesting change of events. They're starting with 11 women. As I see, both goalkeepers are on the substituted Namusumbu Rebecca and Omar Sherlene. Or, sorry, let me just get confirmation. No, I just got confirmation that Nasumbu Rebecca will be in goal for the start of this half. Yes.
Um,
Okay. All right. So right now we have the Kenyan women and the Zambian women about to kick things off for game number 4 of the day. And the
um, we are to expect this game to be a bit much more intensive as the Kenyans prove to be a bit much more well versed in the game.
as you can see, Kenyan women starting off with a fierceness, pushing forward from Mwefu Tabita. The Kenyan women on starting off very strong, pressing very high on the Zambian women.
Um, so we are seeing now it's a 16 for the Zambians. Zambians are starting at 16, so we are expecting this game to be a bit one-sided maybe, but we do not know. We are here, as you can see on the screens there. Our umpires are Johari Shehila from Malaysia, Swart Merlis from South Africa, and the reserve umpire is Irene Handura from Namibia.
As we can see, the Zambian women are starting things off on the counter. And right there by the bottom left corner, you can see our names. My name is Calvin Itungi. Alongside me is Jason Amwama. And we will be the hostess with the mostest for the day. Zambian women just hitting the ball out and giving the Kenyan ladies a 16. I expect things to be very thrilling today, as this game is going to be quite intense. Wouldn't you agree, Jason?
Yes, I mean, the Kenyans did put up a fight in the earlier games. So, yeah, and also the Zambians put up a fight yesterday against Namibia. So we are to expect them to really show up and give the Kenyans a hard time, like they did with the Namibians yesterday.
Zambia starting very strong with a very high press. I believe that they're trying to catch Kenya off in the counter. Ooh. Oh, but a brilliant sweep away from the Kenyan player. I think the Zambian player got her on her foot, and the ref has just stopped time to check on her. Okay, as we can see, she is okay and ready to continue, which is brilliant from the Zambian woman. As Kenya starts off the 16 down the line, they're just gonna recycle the ball a bit at the back. Brilliant overhead from the Kenyan woman. However, it plays out and it is in now the Zambian players' hands. Jason, based off the intensity from Zambia yesterday, what are your expectations from them today?
I expect them to actually put up a big fight against the Kenyans. Um, they're likely to go home with a win, considering that they actually stepped up yesterday against the Namibian women. So maybe they will disappoint the Kenyan ladies today by beating them.
They're starting off with a great fire and intensity. However, the Zambian women are not keeping five. Umpires have been giving cards for players not keeping five. They just need to be very wary of that situation.
I mean, um, when the game gets heated, players do tend to forget about the rules of the game. They just want to win. So it is to be expected when players are desperate to win.
Oh, brilliant stop from the Kenyan player, but the Zambians intercepted and play it out. However, Kenya pressing very high, intercepting that ball and making sure it stays within the Zambian half. Zambian just doing a half court press, now giving themselves an opportunity to get a high press on Kenya, but Kenya keeping it very strong, playing their 1-2s, very simple hockey, just trying to keep it in their basics, drawing the fouls and giving themselves opportunity to score. And just like that, the Kenyan number 7 draws a penalty corner. I spoke about it before, now and in the previous game. The players need to keep a 5-meter distance. Umpires will blow in favor of the opposing team if you do not keep a 5-meter distance. As we have the first penalty corner of the day, will Kenya capitalize from this opportunity, or will the Zambian defense prove to be a challenge?
I mean, the Kenyan women did draw against Uganda, so maybe we are going to see a win here, as they are most likely desperate for wins.
As they reset the penalty corners, because the Zambian women did not have their masks on, FIH regulations stipulate that all players within a penalty corner should have face masks, otherwise they aren't allowed to be present. As Kenya takes the penalty corner, what a wicked shot from the Kenyan player. However, it goes wide and is played as a 16 for Zambia.
I mean, looking at the standing here, the Kenya lost 2 games and drew 1 game against Uganda, and Zambia has lost all 3 games. So the Kenyans might just come out as the victors here, but we do not know until the last whistle goes, and it is very fast. So the game,
As we can see, Zambia trying to get a high press on Kenya to force the foul. However, it is blown in favor of Kenya as the Zambian player came from the wrong side and performed a wrong stick tackle. Kenya just trying to control. However, Zambia with their high press now intercept the ball and are on the quick counter. But the Kenyan defenders are locking down the Zambian presses, as we can see, and just recycling and resetting. But due to this high press, an error was forced onto the Kenyans, and the Zambians have an opportunity to capitalize.
umpire
However,
blows for 5 meters, just the ball didn't travel 5 inside the 23 from a free hit. So ball goes back to the Kenyan women. So you see they start off the ball in their 16, the 23-meter line. whereby they just lost possession of the ball. I mean, and the Zambians are blown for the same thing again. Ball must travel 5. I think when players are really desperate for this, they really do forget that ball must travel 5. In case you're
Ken-
just tuning in now, you are currently watching the Junior Africa Cup being hosted by Namibia here at the Davin Truscott Hockey Field here at Windhoek High School, and currently watching like the first quarter of the game between Zambia and Kenya. Scoreline 0-0.
as Kenya now tries to get a press on Zambia, but Zambia recycling the ball around, not giving them a chance. But Kenya with a beautiful interception, trying to get a quick counter. However, the Zambian defenders are well placed to mitigate that interception, and as they make a quick counter, this gives the opportunity for them to make a run. And Zambia is now on the counter. The Kenyan defender trying to intercept the ball, however, was unable to, giving Zambia an opportunity to have a press and draws the short corner. As we said it before and we'll say it once again, the players need to be 5 meters. The umpires will blow 5 for 5 if you are not 5. And the Zambian player saw this as an opportunity, drawing the foul from the Kenyan player, which won her team the penalty corner. Now, will Zambia utilize this penalty corner to be fruitful? We will see as they have their first penalty corner of the day. So it is penalty corner 1 for Kenya, penalty corner 1 for Zambia. It is currently 24 degrees here at the Davin Truscott Sports Field, Truscott Hockey Astro Field. Oh, what a wicked shot from the Zambian player. However, it took a deflection off a Kenyan player, and a second penalty corner has been awarded to Zambia. Very unique setup from Zambia as we see how they utilize it. It is blown against Zambia. The ball was not properly controlled, and now Kenya has a chance to set up their structure and go forward.
At this point, it looks like Kenya is giving in to the gameplay of Zambia. They are literally playing Zambia's hockey instead of their own hockey. So ideally, they would want to force the Zambians wide, but and also just move the ball around much more quicker and faster. But they are not doing it.
Brilliant stuff from the Kenyan player just to control the ball and quickly draw the foul in her favor and giving Kenya a chance to go. So far, we have 1 shot on goal from Zambia. No shots from Kenya, but we're still in the early stages of this goal. Both teams have had a circle penetration, one of each, and a bit more ball control from Zambia. However, as you can tell from this game, it is more likely 50-50. Zambia has had 2 penalty corners as to Kenya's 1, but no goals from either one of the teams from the penalty corners. And Zambia is on the counter once again as she draws the foul as he plays it onto the foot of the Kenyan player. Zambia still pressing, trying to get a quick slap into the circle for a quick deflection, but quickly intercepted off a Kenyan defender. And now Kenya is on the counter. However, she plays it out wide and turns it over as to a Zambian ball.
Looking at the gameplay, I don't think the Kenyans are so hungry for goals as they have shown superior play before than this. They have shown that they are desperate for wins, but today it just seems like the Kenyans are a bit relaxed as they are playing hockey. They are playing into the Zambians hockey, and it's a card for the Kenyan lady.
We spoke about it also in previous games. Do not play the ball if it is blown against you. You will be carded, and umpires are becoming a bit more stricter on that rule as they've seen that many players are not heeding to their warnings. So we have a green card for a Kenyan player. We'll just get clarification soon on which specific player that was. As Kenya runs the line, brilliant run from Zambia. However, she is taken out. Oh, and Kenya is on a quick counter, but quickly intercepted once again from the Zambian girls as she plays it out wide to her fellow teammate and runs it. Zambia just setting up their structure once again. Kenya quickly setting up positions.
There we go. Kenya is now on the counter. See if they can materialize into something. Oh, lost possession there of the ball. Zambia is now on the counter. Umpire blows for danger right there. So Kenya gets to have a free hit. But let's see if they do use this opportunity with a free hit for it to materialize into something. Maybe a circle penetration, maybe a short corner or a goal. We do not know.
Oh, brilliant stuff from the Kenyan defender. But the goalkeeper comes and makes sure the ball
As
goes
you can
like
see there on the bottom left corner of your screen, the green card was given to Jepto Jolene, number 10 for
Kenya.
Kenya.
As Kenya has a long corner, this is an opportunity they could utilize to capitalize.
There we see Kenya just
Oh, what a
hitting.
block.
And ball goes outfield.
As Kenya wins themselves another long corner. What a brilliant block from the Zambian player. I could say she's getting more blocks than a Lego convention, but that's just me. As Kenya quickly tries to strike the ball for a quick counter. However, it hasn't been fruitful as the Zambian goalkeeper lets the ball run out as it is now a 60 for Zambia.
As you can see there, the Zambian players are just ready to start the 16. Now there is the ball disposed by the Kenyan players. Kenya is on the attack. They lost possession. Ball possession is now with the Zambians. They are on a counter. A quick one, faster than the Kenyans can fall back. Zambia gets the ball. Umpire blows for short corner
in favor of Zambia. I believe she might have mistrapped the ball and it played off her foot, and now in Zambia's favor as the umpire has blown a penalty corner. So this is Zambia's third penalty corner. Will it be utilized to success? We shall see. The Kenyan defenders and goalkeeper have another task of mitigating the Zambian players from scoring, but we will see what will happen. As the ball rolls, she takes a shot, but it's played wide. As Zambia should begin to start capitalizing from these penalty corners. However, they aren't. This is their third penalty corner, and it has not shown any proven given results.
Right now we are seeing the Zambians are really pressing the Kenyans right now. And it's still the Zambians ball. See if they can get a short corner.
Oh, brilliant from the Kenyan defender. Just playing it off her foot to get it out and then give her defenders some relief as she throws it overhead onto the other side of the field, quickly picked up by her fellow colleague. You could say this ball had a bit of GPS in it as it just found the right player. However, played dangerously by the Kenyan player as she struck it into the goal, turning it against her team and into a Zambian ball.
There we see right now the players getting ready to start the 16 for Kenya. So ideally they would want the ball to move from left to right and right to left if they want to move out. And that's the end of the first quarter of this game between Zambia and Kenya. If you're just tuning in now, the game between Zambia and Kenya in the first quarter, scoreline 0-0. Coming to you live from the Devon Trusco hockey field here at Finduk High School. So right now, Kelvin, what do you think the first quarter was like?
Quite brilliant. Kenya had a lot of opportunities, as you can see, as the ball was struck by Lavanda Onyago from Kenya. Zambia as well had their fair share of penalty corners, however, they were not as fruitful or successful as they wanted them to be. Both teams are getting some brilliant circle penetrations, however, they are not being clinical and utilizing the opportunities.
I mean, the Zambians did perform some um, impeccable passes. I mean, you could say those passes were tighter than a family at a braai, but
Indeed, you could say that, Jason. Indeed, you could say that.
yeah, it was a good first quarter, quite a slow game compared to what we first had before this Kenya vs Zambia. I mean, so the end of the first quarter, the scoreline is still 0-0. But looking at the game, it's still going quite well. I'm just wondering, when will Zambia switch on like they switched on yesterday against the Namibian girls?
As we come into the second chaka of the Junior Africa Cup Game 4 live from the Devon Truscos Hockey Stadium, Windhoek, Namibia, the scoreline is Zambia 0, Kenya 0.
The players got ready to get on the field, and the second quarter is underway right now.
As we see the Kenyan ladies, as we see emotions are starting to run high as both teams want to capitalize. At the beginning, the Kenyan women just pressing a bit more than the Zambian women's. As you can see, we have Randa Dotti running the ball, now passed off to Munira, played into the circle quickly. However, quickly intercepted but made very dangerous. Oh, the umpire lets the game continue as the Zambian women have the ball and try to get a quick counter, but quickly intercepted by Kenyan lady Weseha Marion. And now some good interception from Mwale Salom of Zambia. Now she plays it off to Mutambo Messi, as Mutambo Mercy just plays it back to her fellow partner, Miss Fira Anna, or correction, Miss Rachel Natambo. Umpire just telling Nakambe to take it back as she sends it right back to her fellow colleague Mwefu Tabita as she plays it down the line, however quickly intercepted by Kenya's Mweseka Marion, and now the counter is on by quickly intercepted once again by Zambia's number 19 Soko Esnart, and then
We are seeing just now the Kenyans do have are trying to defend, but they are playing the Zambians hockey. So ideally, the Kenyans would want to make the pitch smaller there, just by pushing the Kenyans out wide. I mean, sorry, point of correction. The Kenyans would want to push the Zambians out wide as the game proceeds, but it seems like they're not doing it. They're playing a bit of disorganized hockey, but we will notice that the Kenyans maybe after halftime they might come back restructured and much more stronger and ready for a win. Because like I like saying, the last 2 quarters of the game are the most intensive ones. It's just the 16 there for Kenya. Kenya is starting their 16. Intercepted by Zambia, and then the Kenyans win it back. Kenyans ball. Pass is made. Zambia intercepts the ball. Nice skill work there, portrayed by the Zambian ladies. There we are seeing the number 12 for Kenya, having number 12 just got taken out there.
Mwale Simone of Zambia was just taken out and drawn the penalty corner for her team brilliantly. She saw an opportunity to draw the foul from the Kenyan defender and utilized it perfectly as the umpire blew for a penalty corner. As we can see, the player that just took her out from Kenya was indeed in fact Onyole Lavenda. An opportunity for Zambia to capitalize as the Kenyan players dash out. Brilliant stop off the line from
Shot
Lavenda.
Shot taken by the Kenyan lady Kaluba Christine. The Zambian lady, sorry for that. The Zambian lady Kaluba Christine took that shot that just missed the goal. It was just shy of the net. There we see simply dribbling by Kenya's number 17, Rachel Nakobe.
Zambia have the opportunity to capitalize once again as it is a long corner in their favor. Kenyan women keeping their defense very tight.
Nakombe, Rachel starts the long corner there. She passes it off to Mwale Salome. Salome just missing her player there to pass the ball.
Well intercepted by Otonemo Velma. However, we have a player down from Zambia. The umpire just checking if she's okay to continue or should.
Seems to be Sako Ersnat that just went down, but she is okay. The game will go on.
You can see there's a bit of ferocity from the Kenyan ladies as they are also not giving up, not giving Zambia a chance to get a goal in, keeping their defense tight and well organized. As the game resets again, quickly intercepted, but well taken again by Velma Otome.
There we are just seeing right now the Kenyans kind of overloaded the 23, making it hard for the Zambians to score. Oh, what a nice bounce pass there by the Kenyan ladies. Fortunately, it does not materialize. There we have Nakombe Rachel just passing the ball into the D, but shy of a player. Teammate was just not at the right spot. There we see the Zambian lady number 12, Mwale Salome, that made a beautiful pass. Fortunately intercepted by the Kenyans, and the cane intercepted by the
Beautiful interception from Ranga Doherty of Kenya, number 7, as she wins the ball back for her team. And now we have with Wekesa Marion playing it out wide to Oteni Velma, who tries to run the ball, drawing the foul brilliantly as the Zambian player is carded.
I mean, cards are flying out in this game faster than they were in the last game between the men, Egyptian men, and the Zambian women. Excuse me, not men and women, but the Egyptian men and the South African men, and also the game between the Kenyan men and the Zambian men. We did not see a lot of cards flying out there, and we did not see them flying out this early in the game. There we see it's Kenya's free, not Kenya, but Zambia's free hit. It was a turnover. They took too long. Kenya takes the ball. They lead it to the circle there. Kenya takes a shot on goal. Long corner.
She kicked that ball like it was rent due today. What a save from the Zambian goalkeeper. And we just have confirmation of the green card that was given to Kalumbe of Zambia. Brilliant interception from the number 19 of Kenya, Miss Mukongo Pervon.
The ball is dispossessed. Zambia has the ball.
And again dispossessed by Ongohe Lavenda of Kenya, but then dispossessed once again as it is a Zambian ball. It is just a back and forth with these ladies. Kenya, Zambia, Kenya, Zambia. Same thing with the men. Kenya, Zambia, Kenya, Zambia.
There we see the first overhead of the game. There we see shots taken. Zambia 3, Kenya 1. Which just shows how hungry the Zambians are. Circle penetration, Zambia 5, Kenya 2. The Kenyans are on the counter.
Brilliant skills from Kenya's Mwangadi Brenda. However, it is overturned as Lavenda does not travel 5 before she enters the circle. So now it's Zambian ball. Good interception by the Kenyan lady Millicent. She tries to play it forward. However, it is quickly intercepted by the Zambian defense. The Zambian defense is being very tight and locking down the Kenyan forwards. However, the Kenyans are not giving up and still keeping a high press.
I mean, yes, still the Kenya's ball. Kenyans are really desperate for a win today. I think Kenya, they're actually now showing up as they showed up yesterday against Namibia.
As we see Melima of Kenya dispossessing the ball. However, it seems that she is a bit limpish, but she is okay to continue this game. As we see the Kenyan defender Oteni Velma making a quick dash forward and passing the ball to and what
Kenya
a
scores.
What a beautiful goal scored by Kenya's very own Mwangadi Brenda. A quick 1-2 between two fellow teammates that gets the goal. Brilliant stuff from the ladies. She makes the quick run, pulls it back and just backsticks it straight into the goal.
I mean, This match is hotter than Rundu in November.
Aye, indeed, it is hotter than Rundu in November. As we get the game going, Kenya 1, Zambia nil. Beautiful goal once again by number 11 of Kenya, Miss Mangandi Brenda. Brilliant overhead from the Zambian lady, however, failing to be trapped by her fellow teammate going out, and now we played from the back as a Kenya's ball. Oh, brilliant stop.
That was a good stop by Kenya's Natasha Malokota.
However, the ball did not travel 5 meters and was blown against her and is now in the hands of the Kenyan captain.
I think at this point the Kenyan women are really desperate. Not the Kenyan women, but the Zambian women are desperate for a goal. So desperate that they don't even go 5 when they have a free hit.
Brilliant
in the
work.
opposite team's 23.
As it comes out to be a 16 in favor for Zambia. Kenyan women keeping a very high press, trying to make sure that they do not give Zambia an opportunity to get the ball into their half, but in fact keep it in the Zambian half.
There we see the Zambian women just have one. They have one possession of the ball again. And they might just use this possession. Umpire blows for danger as the ball came to the Kenyan ladies' stick.
And it is blown against the Kenyan ladies for not keeping 5 meters. We spoke about this so many times. However, it is still not being recognized. We see a green card shown. We'll just get clarification as to who it was shown momentarily. But once again, umpires are being very strict on that rule. You must maintain a 5-meter distance when the ball is not in your favor. A quick play by the Zambian women, however, it is quickly played out and is now the Kenyan women's ball. Will the Kenyan women be able to hold out as 9 men strong for the next 2 minutes? We will see.
It is actually the Zambian women's ball as they take the long corner.
It is dangerously played by a Zambian, and we just get clarification that the green card was shown to Otieno Velma of Kenya, as she had not kept 5 meters. Brilliant skill work by the Kenyan player, Miss Jetpo Jolene, as she plays it back to her fellow teammate, Miss Millicent, who plays it back all the way to Marion, who does a quick play, however quickly intercepted, and Zambia is now once again on the counter. But
Nankombe Rachel intercepted that ball. She's been intercepting balls this whole game, showing us exemplary dribbling skills. So Nankombe Rachel might just get what she's hungry for, and it's a goal for Zambia.
As we can see, the ball is quickly played out from captain to Messeno all the way across as they are recycling the ball. Quickly received well by Jolene and played out wide. However, the ball is played and it is now Zambia's ball. As you see, Zambia was given the ball to take it from where the foul was taken and started off pretty high. Kenya just trying to force a mistake and starting off with a very high press. But the Zambian ladies...
There we see Zambian ladies number 12. Mwale Salome just gave the ball away, but luckily for her, Rachel is still there to get the ball.
And there we see Miss Messeno of Kenya just trying to keep the ball out and away as they set up their defensive structure.
There we see it's a long corner for Zambia. They see you can currently hear the spectators and the coaches shouting "Shore, Shore" for that ball going out there.
Brilliant interception from the captain, Miss Doherty, and a super dash being made from the Kenyan player, number 11. However, the goalkeeper steps out quick enough to receive it. That was a wicked dash from Wangandi Brenda, and that calls the end of the second chaka here at the Davin Trascos Hockey Astro in Windhoek, Namibia, where the scoreline stands Zambia nil, Kenya 1. Jason, from the looks of the games, what can you say?
I mean, we really saw Kenya step it up there. Um, Although the passes were not really connecting at first, I think they stepped up and took charge and utilized the goal scoring opportunity, which we are not seeing the Zambian women doing. Although they are proving to be more skilled or superior to the Zambian women, they are not utilizing those opportunities to score goals. So I think the Zambian ladies just really need this team talk right now at halftime. They might just come back and shock us, or they might not. What do you think, Kelvin? How do you think the gameplay is gonna be?
The gameplay from both teams is really well. I believe Zambia is getting some very good circle penetrations. However, the clinicality and the finishing touch, that cherry on the top, is what they are lacking. I believe the coaches should focus more on the clinicality and the players should be very meticulous about their shots. From the stats, as we can see, Zambia is getting circle penetrations and good shots but no goals. That's what I mean, that clinicality. They need to be very meticulous about the opportunities they get, as they are not a lot. As for Kenya, you can see they have 3 circle penetrations, 2 shots and 1 goal. So they're being very clinical about the opportunities they get. They try to get the shots off as quick as possible. From the possession, we can clearly see that it is still a 50-50 game. However, Zambia has had the majority of penalty corners but has not capitalized from any of them. Kenya has had but 1, which they also have not capitalized. However, they still are leading this game 1-0. From these
So,
stats, Jason, what can you say?
looking at the stats, Zambia seems to be much more superior than Kenya, considering that the consider considering that the circle penetrations from the Zambians is they have more circle penetrations than the Kenyans. They have more ball possession, they have more penalty corners. So I would think that the Zambians are gonna pull through here. They might just also score a few more goals in the second half of the game. But again, the Kenyans might just have a deep team talk right now and come back much more stronger. What do you think the coaches are telling the players right now, Kelvin?
I believe from the Zambian side, if I was their coach, I would be telling them that you need to be a bit more clinical with the opportunities you're getting. You're getting plenty, but you're not utilizing them to their maximum capabilities. We can see that Zambia is dominating the game. However, the score line begs to differ, whereas Kenya has far less ball possession, far less circle penetrations, far less shots, but is still leading the goals. That just goes to show that if you're not utilizing the opportunities you get, you will not win the game. But anything can happen. It is just the first half of this game, the end of the second chaka. Zambia can make a comeback. We saw it in the previous game. Kenya as well made a comeback from a 1-0 down. We could see it again happen, or the Kenyan ladies could power through and take this one home like their fellow brothers did.
I mean, looking at how both teams have been playing, the Kenyans having a draw and the Zambians having lost all their games, I think the Zambians are probably really hungry for goals right now.
Indeed, they are. I saw some of their finishes It's just the clinicalness that's there. If they were a bit more clinical, like a surgeon with a scalpel, oh, we could be seeing a totally different score line right now.
Like we are seeing the number 17 for Zambia is dancing through defenders like it's a wedding in the north.
She's doing that, that one step, two step. They like doing that side. I see what you did there. I see what you did there. But at the end of the day, the game's still going. It's still anybody's game. The possession says that it's still anybody's game. So it could be either Zambia's way or Kenya's way. We are only at halftime, but we are still live at the Junior Africa Cup from the Devon Trusco Hockey Stadium in Windhoek, Namibia, where the scoreline for the women's game is Zambia 0, Kenya 1.
Oh, I gotta say, the Kenyan women are also defending. They keep on shutting down, or mostly shutting down, the Zambians attacking like load shedding.
In South Africa.
They keep shutting those attacks down. So I think they will probably just it's either they continue defending or they just come out and make it better. Like, I mean, Kelvin, you are a hockey player. What would you do in this situation if you're Kenya?
If I was Kenya in the situation I would try to set the pace of the game. As we can see, Zambia is a bit rushy, trying to get a goal or trying to get back. So I would utilize these opportunities. Certain players will fall out of positions here and there. This is where you capitalize and fall into those pockets, pick up the ball. Some aerial skills will be needed here and there. Some overheads will be needed. The ball will need to travel from side to side. However, if I was Kenya right now, if I was a Kenyan striker, I would be making the dashes out into the open pockets to receive, whereas my midfielder would make the dash to the top of the D so I can lay it off to them and they can get a shot on goal. If I was a Zambia striker right now, what I would do is keep the press very high and try to force the mistake and quickly capitalize on it. As you can see, the Kenyan defense takes a lot of time to set up and players do not fall back as quickly. Those are the opportunities they should be utilizing. And if you're not going to be able to get a goal, try getting the penalty corners, because then that is a greater chance of you getting a goal, as there are less defenders within the D running for the ball. Just try to get the penalty corners and play the team game. At the end of the day, it is a team sport and we win as a team, not as one.
Yeah, I understand you. And if you're just tuning in right now, we are currently on halftime. We are currently at halftime for the Junior Africa Cup being held here in Windhoek. Halftime right now is for Zambia and Kenya, whereby Zambia having a score of 1 and Kenya having a score of 0.
Correction. The scoreline is Zambia 0, Kenya 1, live from the Devon Trusco Hockey Stadium, Windhoek, Namibia. Jason, based off your defensive expertise, what would you say the Kenyan defense should do better?
I mean, the Kenyan defense should definitely they should be much more compact in the middle. So you'd want to force them wide, like you wouldn't want to go for players to go through the mid, because that just makes it easier for them to score. So you force them wide, you force them to their weak side, so that you can actually dispose the ball and then be on a counter. But then the counter only works if my players can also come to it faster. So my players also need to switch on. So as fast as Kenya wants to switch on to attack, they need to defend as a team and attack as a team. That is the only way they can beat the Zambians now.
As we kick off the third chaka of the Junior Africa Cup Kenya versus Zambia game, we are live at the Devon Trusco Hockey Field, where Zambia 0, Kenya 3 third quarter has begun.
Right there, as you are seeing on your screen, Rachel just hit the ball.
As the Kenyan team having a half-court press, just trying to mitigate the Zambians' attack, forcing the error. However, the miss hit from the Kenyan player Miss Tangeri Priska forces it back to Zambia. However, quickly intercepted by her colleague Mutambo Mercy, but then once again intercepted by a Zambian player. Mutambo Mercy gets the ball back and tries to make a run, but is intercepted by the number 5 of Zambia as Zambia try to play the ball out wide. Quickly intercepted by Lavenda of Kenya, the captain, making sure she locks it down for her players as the ball now goes to Mwale Beatrice. Ooh,
Oh, unfortunately, that will be considered as dangerous, and ball is given to Kenya.
Miss Nyongesa of Zambia plays the ball as she runs the line. We have Lavenda, the captain, running the ball on the line. Beautiful, right around the player. As she gets the ball back and makes a dash to the circle. Beautiful skills. However, intercepted by the Zambian defense as Kenya draws a foul and the ball is now turned over. Oh, the ball is actually turned over by Zambia as she runs the ball into the circle and draws a long corner in her favor. So it's an opportunity for Kenya to capitalize. Zambia just needs to be very wary. They've been on the push, but not on. And Kenya has just been holding back, but now we're seeing a different side of Kenya. Brilliant skills from Priska Twangi Twiskili of Kenya as she tries to dribble it right through. However, the ball is played off one of her teammates and is now turned over to Zambia.
I mean, Kenya will be looking for a win in this game, considering that the Kenyan men have won their game against Zambia. So they will be looking for a win in this game. But if they don't get a win, that means that the Kenyan men won against Zambia, while the women would have won or will have won against Kenya.
Oh, brilliant skill from the Zambian player.
There we go. We are seeing number 9 starting off with the ball with Chaya Mimori.
As the ball is played off the number 19 of Kenya, Miss Soko Ernast. This game is starting to tense up as the ladies are now trying to push. The Zambian ladies are trying to push for a goal, but the Kenyan ladies' defense still locking them down. A brilliant overhead played by the Kenyan ladies to Miss Mutambo Mercy. Oh, what a save from the goalkeeper, but takes out Miss Mutambo Mercy as the umpire says play on. Things are getting electrifying on this field.
I mean, I did say the second quarter is when the game actually gets interesting, because during the second half of the game, that's when the players want to put those balls at the back of the net.
You could say things are getting spicy like Kapana from single quarters.
Yes, very much.
Very much.
Like that.
And the ball is turned over as it plays off Miss Mercy's foot and is now a Zambian ball. Brilliant interception by the Zambian player, but quickly dispossessed by Mutambo Mercy as she does some brilliant dribbling skills. As Kenya tries to set the tempo and just slow the game down, play it in their favor, but the Zambian women trying to make sure they're not giving them the chance to control this game. And just like that, the short corner in favor of Kenya. The Zambian player deflected off the Zambian player, making it dangerous, producing a short corner for Kenya. Can Kenya capitalize from this short corner? We will see.
I mean, we have seen that Kenya has had one short corner so far in this game, and Zambia has had 4. So we will see whether they can actually step up to the game and put them back there.
As the ball is played, a variation is played off. Beautiful save by the Zambian goalkeeper. It was a good slip from Kenya catching the runners off. However, the goalkeeper of Zambia was wide awake to see it and stop the shot off the side. As Zambia is now trying to get a quick counter.
There we see.
Brilliant stuff from the Zambian girls as they get the ball in their favor for the counter. They could capitalize with the Kenyan players out of position. Brilliant stuff as she dribbles through one, two, but quickly intercepted by Mutambo Mercy as Zambia tries to get a shot. And
Umpire blows ball for the Zambians,
for the
for the
girl,
Kenyan girls.
it must have been a stick hacking that she heard and blew it in favor of the
And
Kenyans.
umpires don't blow what they hear, they blow what they see.
Indeed they do.
So right now we are watching as the Kenyans are really trying to press the Zambians right now, but unfortunately they couldn't maintain ball possession. Kenyan ladies, Zambia ladies are actually on the attack right now. Will they prove to be fruitful in this attack or not? Unfortunately not. The Kenyan ladies have dispossessed them of the ball, and we are seeing ball thrown, and ball still remains as our ball is now, the ball belongs to now the Zambian ladies. And they whack that ball. There we go, second penetration. And it's a short corner for the Zambian ladies.
Can Zambia utilize this short corner to be fruitful and get a goal, or will the Kenyan defense prove to be as difficult as it has been throughout the day? We will see, as Zambia has a penalty corner and Kenya has the defending to do.
We're just waiting for the whistle to go, for the ball to be pushed. And whistle goes, ball is pushed,
Ooh, that is a wicked shot.
and it's a long corner. Umpire shows for a long corner. There we have, umpire is just showing the player where the long corner should be started, because apparently long corner should be taken wherever the ball went out. So Calvin, please tell me, what do you think about the game so far in this third quarter?
So far, you can see the Zambian women are a bit more hungry than they were before, as they are pushing far harder. However, Kenya has stepped it up. Now they're pushing even more forward than they were in the prior two chakas. As you can see, some brilliant dribbling being performed by the Kenyan player,
Ball is
Miss Tay
disposed.
Memory, as she runs the ball.
Our ball got dispossessed there by the Kenyan ladies. The Kenyan ladies are on the attack.
Oh,
And
some brilliant skills demonstrated by Priska from Kenya, just spinning the ball right around.
I could say that 360 is illegal in 12 countries.
Namibia being one of them.
Very much. Umpire blows for danger as the ball was lifted off the player's Zambian lady's stick.
As she runs it into the circle, but quickly intercepted and played out by the Zambian ladies.
Umpire blows for the stick hack. It looked to me like it was a shield, but the umpire saw otherwise. I mean, there we go.
And Zambia is on the counter once again as Kenya try. But it's played off the Zambian player's foot in favor of Kenya as Miss
There we
Mario
see Kenya is on the attack.
Dora making the run. Miss Dora Jokeo making the run for Kenya. Some good plays are being played out here. Kenya really being on the attacking front. They're being more attacking now than they were in the first two checkers, and you can see it. The Zambian women are having a tough time with the pressure that Kenya is applying.
There we see the dispossessed by the Zambian ladies. Oh,
Brilliant spin.
brilliant spin there.
And just like that, it is played out to the number 5 of Kenya, Miss Wendy Nyongesa, who plays it out wide to her fellow teammate, plays a 1-2 that is quickly picked up by Captain Lavender. And the ball is played out again to Pevron, but quickly dispossessed as Pevron tries to get a quick counter. Oh, beautiful interception of the Kenyan ladies. Now played off to Dora Gioccheri, who plays it into the player to draw the foul and gives an opportunity for Kenya to be on the counter. Brilliant ball possession by the Kenyan ladies as we see some beautiful dribbling being played off Miss Abukse Millicent as Kenya tries to take a shot but quickly stopped off by the Zambian defender.
Will the Zambians take ball possession off? Will they take the ball off of the?
But the ball rolls out. It's played out and no one is there to receive or deflect the ball. So it is now a Zambian 16. As we see, it is 3 for all. Both Kenya and Zambia have 3 shots on goal. However, Zambia dominates the circle penetrations with 7 as to Kenya's 4. And we can see this is still anybody's game as possession is literally 50-50. However, Zambia has had the majority of penalty corners as to Zimbabwe's 2 with Zambia's 5, but they have not capitalized yet from any of these chances. So based off these stats, we see that Zambia is a bit dominative, but it's not being capitalized on. What would you say on that, Jason?
Point of correction, my lead commentator. Not Zimbabwe, Kenya. So I would say that looking at the ball position being at 50-50, the Kenyans actually showed up to the party because at the first quarter the ball position was favoring the Zambians. But now the Kenyans showed up to the party. They want that win. They want to solidify that win by putting in the final nail in the coffin, making the score 2-0. But the Zambians do not want that. They want to score and make it a draw, making it 1-1 with the possibility of a lead.
As we see the umpire show a green card, we'll just get clarification as to which player it was given to momentarily. We see a Zambian player stepping off as Kenya tries to press the ball once again. Brilliant. Oh.
Ball goes to the Zambian ladies. And the Kenyans are on the attack. What a beautiful 360 there. Ball intercepted by the defenders.
Some brilliant 360s from Otemo Velma of Kenya. And we just get clarification that the green card was shown to the captain of the Zambian team, Miss Mwale Beatrice. As now Zambia will be playing on a 9-man team for the next 2 minutes. Some brilliant skill being showed by the number 11 of Zambia as she tries to keep the ball.
I mean, Zambia's defenders' reflexes here are proving to be faster than someone running from a storm in Katutura.
Jason and yo, it's
There we see the ball belongs to the Kenyans here. They have possession of the ball here in the Zambians 23. Trying to have the ball travel 23 5 meters. I mean,
as the captain makes a dash forward and tries to play it into the circle. However, a mistrap from her fellow teammate Jokoyo Dora
and it's a 16.
in favor of Zambia.
There we see there's less than a minute left of this quarter, less than a few seconds left of this quarter. So my co-comment, and that concludes the third quarter of this game. Zambia 0, Kenya 1.
As we can see from the live from the Junior Africa Cup at the Davin Trusco Hockey Astro in Windhoek, Namibia, the end of the third quarter between Zambia and Kenya, where the scoreline remains Zambia 0, Kenya 1. Would you say there's a bit of ferocity from the Kenyan ladies as they want to push a bit more forward?
I mean, yes, there is a bit ferocity looking at the ball position being at 50-50. We are going to notice that this last quarter will be much more intensive, considering that the teams actually tend to show up in the last quarter. And right now on your screen, as you are seeing, is the highlights from the game. Um, Goal scoring opportunity there by the Kenyan ladies, just shy of the goalkeeper's pads there and deflected off. There we see some good dribbling skills by the Kenyan ladies there, but just missed the ball for the advantage. There we see a back stick
That led
that
to the
led
goal.
to the goal for the Kenyan ladies.
Beautiful back stick again from Wangi Brenda of Kenya.
And this back stick actually gave them the lead in this game. In
So,
case you are at home wondering what you'll do with your evening and you want to come watch some good hockey, the weather is quite good here. It's a bit cloudy. It tends to get a bit cold later in the evening. So if you do end up deciding to come watch some hockey here, do not forget to bring along a jersey or a jacket.
as we kick off the final quarter of the match between the Zambian and the Kenyan ladies at the Junior Africa Cup, the scoreline still remains Zambia 0, Kenya 1. As we see Kenya just trying to maintain shape and keep ball possession, I believe they are not going to give up and still want more goals, as we see the Kenyan player hit the ball straight into the D. However, none of our fellow teammates were able to receive, and it is played as a 16 for Zambia. Kenya continuing, however, with their high press, trying to force a Zambian error at the back, giving them a chance to have a quick counter. As they do, they almost, you see, some brilliant skills from the Zambian lady that forces the turnover. However, it is still Zambia's ball.
Umpire just showed the, I think, obstruction. So we are looking at this game moving a bit much more faster with Tapita with the ball there from
Ooh.
Zambia.
And we see a yellow card being shown to the number 12 of Zambia for deliberate breakdown of play,
So
as the umpire blows her whistles just to warn.
number 12 of Zambia, Mungale Salome, is the one who received that card.
As the ball is collected by the Kenyan defender Miss Messinho and quickly distributed out. Beautiful interception of the Zambian players, and now Zambia is on the counter and Kenya is on the defending line However, quickly dispossessed of the Zambian players by Miss Wendy Nyogose, and the ball is collected by her captain, Miss Lavenda, who tries. Ooh, what a wicked hit from Miss Lavenda. And we get clarification that the yellow card actually is for the Zambian captain once again. Oh, as Kenya misses an opportunity to score. A great opportunity was presented to Miss Ongole Lavenda to score. However, she missed the ball just as it was dashing past the line of the goal.
There we see ball possession is still with Zambians. As currently the Zambians are in the last 12 minutes of this game and they do want to score. They are desperate for a goal that will put them in the lead.
However, the Kenyan women are not letting off the throttle and are still high pressing, as we see number 9 of Zambia, Miss Jokoyo Dora, run the ball into the player to draw the foul just outside the D. And she plays it out to her captain, Miss Lavenda. They play a 1-2 as it is still Kenya's ball.
Here we see that the Kenyans are actually pressing. They are looking for that final nail in the coffin, because I think if they score the second goal, they might just park the bus.
As we see the ball running all the way to Miss Nyongesa Wendy as she tries to take a shot on the ball, but however it is played out by the Zambian defender and it is still a Kenyan ball. We see Munira has the ball doing some dribbling, however dispossessed by the Kenyan defender, and it is now again intercepted by the number 12 of Zambia. However, intercepted once again. It is now a Kenyan ball that is played off to their captain Lavenda, who does a slick pull back on the ball and plays it out to her fellow defender Miss Nyongesa Wendy, who plays it out wide to Jokorio Dora.
Exceptional defending there being shown by Tabitha of Zambia there.
As Kenya wins themselves a long corner once again. Kenya is still full throttle, pressing high, trying to get that goal. Zambia is on the defending side. Zambia needs to switch on and turn things around if they want to win this game, as they are the ones that are trailing.
And that did not amount to anything. It was a circle penetration by the Kenyans through into the Zambian circle. And we have another circle penetration, and it's a short corner and an injury on the field right now.
As we see one of the Zambian players down as she shows the umpire that the ball struck her hand. However, the umpire still holds true to her decision. It is a penalty corner in favor of Kenya. So the Zambian women will have to defend this one. Will Kenya capitalize from this penalty corner? We will see. Live from the Devon Truscott Hockey Astro Field in Windhoek, the scoreline remains Kenya 1, Zambia 0.
Oh, that ball didn't look like it left the D at all.
However, the umpire saw differently, and it is another penalty corner.
Yeah, I mean,
in
if
favor.
the ball doesn't leave the D, the Kelvin, and
and she rockets that ball, however, with no accuracy as it heads on wide.
I mean, you could say that ball was just full of jet fuel, eh?
Indeed, it was full.
It was on fire. Did some rocket fuel. There we see the Zambians are on attack, and the
Umpire just warning her to remain 5.
Umpire just giving the ball to the Zambians. Zambian ladies are desperate for this win.
Oh, beautiful slap from the number 9 of Zambia. However, there was no one to be able to deflect the ball, and it is played out as a 16 for Kenya.
I actually think the Zambian forward anticipated it, but she just reacted too slow. Reaction time was very slow. I mean, in hockey, it does take you a maximum of a second to react. If you react within a second's time and it's the right reaction, you have yourself a nice deflection there. Just the umpire showing ball belongs to the
As
There
we
we
see
go.
the Kenyan women with a ferocity, Jokoya Dora getting the ball back, wanting to keep that ball. The Kenyan women are trying to keep the ball in the Zambian half as much as they can.
So we are seeing that the ball right now is has been given to the Kenyans. It's Kenya's ball right now. And umpire shows for a 16. Oh no, umpire showed for a long corner. Or not. Oh no, umpire is just directing the players way to the ball should start.
As we see Mangani Brenda, the goal scorer, just trying to keep the Zambian, applying pressure to the Zambian women. Brilliantly dispossessed by her fellow teammate Mungumba Munira as she runs around, tries to send the ball into the 16. However, it deflects off, and now Zambia would try to get a quick counter. However,
There you see Zambia is on the counter right now.
but the Kenyan defense is wide awake and ready to stop them off. Brilliant stuff from Miss Marione of Kenya. As Zambia is on the counter again, but the Kenyan defense is just locking them down. They're making it a statement to say you're not getting in our 23 today. As she clears the ball out wide, Zambia still trying to apply pressure. As we see Zambia getting the ball off, Kenya just trying to keep it on a half-court press to intercept, and Zambia pressing very high. We can see the game is starting to become fair and fairer. Zambia has 3 shots to Kenya's 4, so Kenya dominating in shots, as well as Kenya now dominating in circle penetrations, whereas Zambia has 7 circle penetrations as to Kenya's 9. However, ball possession is more or less still the same, 52 to Zambia's 48 to Kenya, with Zambia dominating in penalty corners as to 5 with Kenya's 4. As we can see, Zambia is still having a bit of dominance. However, that dominance is not being fruitful as Kenya still leads 1 to Zambia 0. But anything could happen as we have still 6 minutes to play in this final chaka. Will Zambia get a goal? Ooh. What a that's why I said it. This ball has a GPS because for some reason it just keeps finding the Kenyan player's sticks from side to side. However, the Zambian player plays it in her favor and forces Kenya to make a turnover. Kenya now just trying to set the tempo of the game and play their hockey, keep the ball to themselves. Just trying to keep the ball in their favor, slowing the game down, taking their time. Oh, good interception from the number 9 of Zambia as she makes the run. Quick interception of the number 3, and now Kenya playing a 1-2 as the ball heads forward. Brilliant interception from Otome Velma of Kenya. However, the ball is dispossessed by Zambia, but quickly repossessed by the number 14 of Kenya, Miss Seino Irene.
There we see Zambia is on an attack, quick attack there. Amounts to nothing.
As the captain, Miss Lavender, shows her dominance and runs the ball out wide in favor of Kenya. It is a Kenyan ball. Zambia on the defending line again. Will we see another goal in this chaka?
With less than 4 minutes left of the fourth quarter of day 4 of the Junior Africa Cup happening here at the Davin Truscott Hockey Stadium. If you are in Windhoek and you feel like watching some hockey, there are still a few games left, so you can just come through. Make sure you bring along a hat. It is hot. Make sure you bring along a jacket. It gets a bit chilly later on in the evening, and come watch some hockey. I mean, 3 of the teams from the Junior Africa Cup here in Windhoek will proceed on to go to the World Cup, to the Junior World Cup, with the Women's World Cup being held in Chile, Santiago, and the Men's World Cup being held in India. That will be happening later on in the year. Right now we're just seeing how desperate the Kenyan ladies are for another goal. They are really making the Zambian defenders work for it.
As Captain Lavender starts the ball off, tries to swing but mishits the ball.
Umpire blows for dangerous. Well, the amount is, it's Zambia's ball. Zambia tries to get the ball there, but the pass just was not on.
Brilliant interception from the Zambian player. However, the goalkeeper takes a step out. It's not over yet. And the Zambian player draws the foul and wins her team a penalty corner. We see the umpire show a green card to the number 8 of Kenya, Miss Abukse Millicent.
Will they use this short corner to actually score a goal? Will the Zambians get an equalizer, or will they not?
We will see, but we are live in the Junior Africa Cup at the Davin Truscott Hockey Field in Windhoek, Namibia, where the scoreline stands Zambia 0, Kenya 1. But things could change at this very moment.
Kenya had a draw with Uganda just the other day, so I don't think they'll be so happy if they get a draw right now.
Oh, and the Zambian women capitalize on this opportunity. Emotions running high, as you can see on the field. That was an amazing quick pass out into the box and slapped right in. Brilliant penalty corner execution from Zambia. Brilliant penalty corner from the number 13 of Zambia, Miss Kalumba Christine, as she just received the ball and made a quick slap with the...
And on the screen they're just showing Millicent, who got the yellow card from Kenya. And I mean, it seems like the Zambians are getting a draw here against the Kenyans.
With 1 minute left, there's still an opportunity for one more goal for the Zambians. As we can see, they're on the quick counter, trying to turn things around. They're setting the pace of the game. And she receives it. Oh, so close. However, umpire blows for the wrong side of the stick.
The Zambians are really looking for a win here in the last minute here, as we are headed into the last minute of the fourth quarter, in the last minute of this game between Zambia and Kenya.
In the dying moments of the game, will Zambia capitalize or will Kenya secure the draw? As we see Kenya now making a dash, brilliant dribbling, however quickly intercepted by the Zambian player.
It's a tough game between Zambia and Kenya here.
Emotions are running high.
I do keep on saying that the game only gets interesting in the last few minutes of the quarter. Does it not?
Yes, it does indeed. Yes, it does.
So right now we just heading into the last few seconds of this interesting game right now.
Oh, what a good interception by the Kenyan ladies. However, Zambia quickly gets the ball back as Kenya gets one last final push to see. However, the game has come to its end and Zambia hold Kenya to a draw. Yeah, 17.
So this was quite an interesting game.
This was quite an interesting game at the Junior Africa Cup where we saw a last-minute goal from Zambia. They finally powered and pulled through. Live at the Dave and Trusco Hockey Field in Windhoek, the full-time scoreline is Zambia 1, Kenya 1. As the Zambian ladies powered through to pull back one goal to not lose this game. Based off the highlights, you can see the Kenyan ladies almost got a beautiful goal. However, she was too late to the receiving end.
I mean, this game, it really got heated very fast. In the last fourth quarter, in the last few minutes, in the dying minutes of the game, we managed to see Zambia make a comeback to Kenya and scoring the equalizing goal against Kenya. As Kenya was leading to 1-0, and Zambia just got that short corner and slapped that ball in.
As you can see, the defenders trying as hard as possible to stop it, but she whacked that ball with a ferocity, stating, "I want that goal."
I mean, that was an impeccable goal. Eh? You could say that that goal hit harder than Windhoek's winter mornings. It was quite an impressive goal.
Indeed, it was. As we can see, the Zambian women celebrating the draw they just managed to secure rather than a loss. They are quite happy. Based off the stats, you can see Kenya had began to dominate in circle penetrations where they're 8 to 9. They had an equal amount of shots for both teams, whereas both had a 4-all. However, because of Zambia's determination, they got a last-stitch goal, ending the game at 1-1.
So looking at the game stats, Kelvin, we are seeing that Zambia actually had more ball possession than Kenya, and this is shown by how they played. And looking at the shots, like looking at the stats actually show that the Zambian ladies were actually desperate for it. So right now on your screen, you are looking at men of the match, or let me say women of the match, who is the number 17 of Zambia, Nakombe Rachel. She showed some exemplary skills there, like individual skills. She kept on dribbling, making the right passes, and I think that actually won a man of the match.
She showed some pretty exemplary skills, and her team showed a sense of determination and resilience. They did not give up. They powered through.
Right now on your screen, you are looking at all the games that took place. Having Zimbabwe in South Africa earlier in the morning, where South Africa won. South Africa and Egypt men, where South Africa won. Kenya against Zambia men, where Kenya won. And this current game that just ended now, Zambia and Kenya, where the women just drew. And the next game is Namibia versus Zimbabwe men. After that, we will have the women's game to close off the day for the Junior Africa Cup, Namibia versus Uganda. And Day 4 Junior Africa Cup is taking place here at the Devon Trusco Hockey Field in Windhoek.
And just like that, live at the Junior Africa Cup today, Tuesday, 22nd April 2025. Our most recent game was Zambia and Kenya women, where it ended in a 1-all draw. The next game will be the Namibian men versus the Zimbabwean men, live at the Devon Trusco Hockey Stadium. My name is Calvin Itsungi. Alongside me is Jason
Amwama.
And we're out.
Namibia proudly hosts the Junior Hockey World Cup qualifiers right in the heart of Windhoek. From the 18th to the 25th of April at Devon Trusco Hockey Stadium, the best young talents from across Africa will battle it out for a shot at global glory. Who will represent the continent on the world stage? Follow real-time updates and all the live action on all our NBC Sports social media platforms. This is more than just hockey. This is the road to the World Cup. Catch every moment live on NBC2. NBC, it's ours.